Good morning, students. This would be our topic for today, that is the design of transmission systems. In the design of transmission systems, basically, we are dealing with the single mesh gearbox. In the single mesh gearbox, as the schematic layout is representing, so there are various important terms here that you have to remember in the single mesh gearbox. First of all, this is a sliding meshing of the gears in which you have the main shaft. So this is the main shaft, then this is the lay shaft, and you have a dog clutch. This is particularly a dog clutch, and you have the primary shaft. So this is your primary shaft. Now students, how the uh, gear ratio takes place and how the motion is being transmitted. So in this particular video, we are going to see the amount of motion being transferred in the gearbox. In the gearbox. Now, as you can see, this particular line, what it is representing, it is representing the type of gear. Now, this is the first gear, this is the second gear, this is the third gear, and this is the final gear, that is the fourth gear. Is it clear? Now see, what is happening is, as you are aware that the gears are in constant mesh with each other. So there are certain gears that are in constant mesh with each other. So when you are rotating this particularly gear will rotate the gear number 2, that is on the lay shaft. And students, what will happen is, through the sliding of this particular big gear with this small gear, there will be the first gear ratio being developed. Means the power is being transmitted. So I will explain with the help of green color. So in the first, the primary shaft is transferring the power to the first gear, then it is transferring the power to the first gear in the lay shaft, and then through the small gear it is coordinated with the large gear. So what is happening is, what you will get in the first gear ratio, you will get high torque with your uh, you can say uh, with low speed. All right, so in this particularly first type of gear ratio, what you will achieve here is, through this larger gear, you will be getting a high torque value. So this is your first gear. Similarly, what will happen in this second gear is, in this second gear, as you can see this uh, 1 2 1 2 3. So this is your third gear on the you can say the main shaft, that is coordinated with the third gear of the lay shaft. So the power will be transmitted from the primary shaft to the main shaft, primary shaft to the lay shaft to the main shaft. So this would be your second gear. In second gear, you will have low torque and high speed. High speed. Similarly, in the third gear, you can see in the third gear, what is happening is, the sliding of this particular first gear on the main shaft, it will slide and it will mesh with the second gear on the main shaft. So therefore, in this particular third type of gear ratio, you will be you will be in the third gear ratio, you will be getting the requisite speed with high with low torque, high speed with low torque. Now what will happen in the fourth gear? Fourth gear ratio, what you will see here is the dog clutch. The dog clutch basically joins the gear on the primary shaft to the gear on the main shaft. So there is a connection between the two. So these two connections, what it will do is, it will transmit the same amount of speed from the primary shaft to the main shaft. So this is how the fourth gear has been achieved on a particular drive, that is your main shaft. So the main function is what type of speed we require on the main shaft here, what torque has been required, and what speed has been required. So this student, this is the phenomena for a single sliding mesh gearbox. So these single sliding mesh gearbox, the main type of gear is the spur gear, that has been spur gear, that are gears that are being coordinated here and that are doing the constant meshing. Thank you.